There's no fate or destiny except for what you create for yourself. No one has a chosen path for you. There's no higher entity than you picking and choosing. Nothing is predetermined or predestined. I used to believe in destiny. And then I realized that anything that happened that I knew in my heart was going to happen ahead of time was actually drawn to me based on my own assumption and my own belief within me, not because it was already pre-written and not because it was already predestined for me. Almost like a premonition. Like there's no such thing as a premonition. Something happens in advance because you set yourself up in an energetic way to experience that. So if you felt confident, this particular event would happen and it does, it wasn't a premonition you had, it was that you have a great example of yourself deliberately manifesting it, whether or not it was good or bad. Now, I get a lot of questions from people about consulting psychics, tarot readings, astrology, things like that. Please, please, please don't do this. It isn't a way of measuring your energy. It isn't a way of getting the answer or confirmation that something is going to happen. It's just a complete waste of your time. It is sucking away your good creative energy that could be being used to cultivate the things that you actually want. When you consult someone else, you're going to get a reading and you're either going to get a bad reading or a good reading. Now, whether or not that reading ends up happening is completely because you believed those events would happen, not because this person read your future, not because this person told you what was going to happen in the future and then it came true. It came true because you decided this was your future. No one has chosen anything for you. No one has chosen a soulmate for you, a person that you're supposed to be with. There's a gazillion different people that you could be with. Now, I always feel so bad for people that have gone to psychics, especially people that have consulted many, many psychics, because you do this out of insecurity. You do this because you're so afraid something isn't going to happen. So you try to get the answers and you think it might give you that boost of confidence if they give you a good reading. But if you can understand that a reading isn't really like that reading is something that you manifested. So whether or not they told you something good or bad, the person giving you the reading, like that whole experience was something you manifested. It wasn't an actual reading of your future. You are the only creative force behind the experiences of your life. Your life is a complete experience from within. So if everything is within, why are you seeking answers from something that is outside of you? Everything is inside. It's all a mirror reflection of inside. As within, so without. Everything is you pushed out. Everything starts from within. And anything that you're experiencing in the physical world is just, it had to be expressed because it was first contained within you. So it's a mirror reflection. It is that other side to the coin, the flip side to the coin. So a coin has heads and tails. You have the inner self and the outer world. The inner world, the outer world. They're one and the same. They are two halves of a whole. The yin and yang, black and white, even and odd, male and female, everything is two sides. You have your inner world and your outer world. And the inner world is the leader. It is the one that starts everything. And the outer world is like, the duplication. And there's always a delay because, I mean, think about it. Like if you were trying to get something photocopied, um, I mean, I know we have computers to do that now, but back in the day when you needed copies made and you went to like, I don't know, an Office Max or Office Center or some sort of Xerox place, and you had copies made, you had to wait for the copies, right? Or I'll give you another example, and this is another archaic example, but when we used to take photographs, and you would take film photographs, and then you'd have to bring that film for developing, and it would take a couple of days. So think about your inner world as like, you're taking imprints on film. And then the outer world, there's this delay because it took a couple of days, to get those copies or to get those imprints. um, to get those photographs, I mean. So there was a little bit of a delay. And the problem is we forget. Like we can't keep track of all of the thoughts we have during the day. So we're constantly, we've got this camera in our hand and we're taking these photographs and then we completely forget. So when the photographs are sent to the developer and we're waiting on our life experience, which is the replication of these photographs on actual paper instead of just negatives, we've forgotten. So, we pick up these photos at the photo booth or whatever it used to be called. And we're like, what is this? I don't remember taking these snapshots. I don't remember taking these pictures, but you did. So, this is why a psychic reading is it's just nonsense because it's happening in your outer world. So, there is no prediction of the future. Like, there's nothing this person can tell you that will or will not happen because anything can happen. So you've just simply manifested an example of insecurity. I mean, that's really all a psychic reading is, or a tarot reading, or an astrological reading, or any sort of reading of any sort. It's just saying, well, I don't believe the creativity is within me. I don't believe everything starts from within me. So I'm believing that my future is written by some higher entity. Some people might even think of it as the universe or God or somebody else has picked this for me. Fate has just, whoever fate is, has picked this for me and it's unchangeable. I mean, I feel so bad for the people that come to me and they're like, I got this psychic reading. They say me and my person are never going to be together and I'm going to meet this other man and I don't want this other person. And how can I change my fate? You change your fate because that reading of your fate wasn't your fate at all. Your fate is within you. It's all within you. There is no there is no one choosing for you. Like, who would be choosing for you? There is no entity called the universe that has opinions and is just like, well, this person is living this kind of life and can only have this much money and can only have be with this person, can't be with this other person. Like who is this choosing? If you believe that there is a higher entity above you that is choosing, then why are you even bothering to try to manifest anything at all? So if your belief system is that there is something way higher above you, fate, destiny, and you can't change that, and you have to consult someone else to give you the answers, well, then you've totally discredited yourself as the creative force in your life, and you've totally given away all of your ability to know that you are the one creating it. You're the one creating it anyway. But in that instance, you're just creating a world where you are not in control, where you are powerless, where you're just helpless in the sea of chaos, which is how most people are living. Most people don't realize that it all starts within them because no one would think that they were that powerful. No one would think to look from within. I love that story of that the gods all sat around and they said, "Where should we place, this power? We'll place it within man because it's the last place he would look." It's like the last place we would ever look, and we question it all the time. Because life feels so tangibly real. Like it feels so cold, so stark, so like we have to consult these psychic readings because it feels so scary, so uncertain. But those uncertainties are exactly what make miracles so miraculous. Like if there weren't those uncertainties, miracles would just be blah. They'd be boring and we'd get really bored. And that's why I love Alan Watts' The Dream of Life. He talks about everyone's lives. It's all dreamed up, almost like you're sleeping somewhere, which I mean, I guess you could think of yourself as that. And that the first time you dreamt it up, you'd make everything easy for you and you would just get it all, but then it wouldn't have meaning. So the next time you would dream it up, you'd make it a little bit more challenging, but you would still know that you were within this dream. But then the next time, you make it even harder for yourself. And that would mean that you don't know that you're within the dream. And it's challenging, and you have to remember that you're dreaming, but you have no proof of it. And that's where you are now. You're remembering the fact that it's all you, it's all from within. Everything that is within is being expressed without. So above, above, so below. It's all, there's two sides to everything. So please do not consult a psychic. I know I keep going back to this, but I swear every single video should be on this because you have to realize it's you. This psychic, they're not reading your energy. Like, your energy is perfect, it's divine, it can never be anything but that. So we need to stop being so critical, stop being so self blaming. You have the power to be your most magical self right now. Just through the sheer realization that you are it, you are powerful, you are everything, and you will succeed by adopting the strength within you and by asking for guidance. And your higher self is you, it is the most intelligent part of you. So it's that aspect of you that isn't swayed by circumstance. It is calm, it is intelligent, it is all knowing. It can see things that you can't, but it's you. So when you talk to your higher self, you're not talking to something outside of you, it's you, just a different aspect of you.